Good morning, everyone. We are from Kelompok 1 Teknik Silviculture, and today we would like to take this opportunity to present to you silviculture innovations for energy forest rehabilitations. Our main focus would be the prospects of calophyllum inophyllum or nyamplung for biofuel. According to the Rencana Pembangunan Jangka Menengah Nasional from the year 2015 to the year 2019, energy sovereignty is important for national development, which includes economic growth, along with improved community welfare and environmental conditions. As of right now, our main energy source for national development is fossil-based, such as petroleum, natural gas, and coal. This energy source is currently depleting, along with domestic energy production. This is why renewable energy, a form of energy that is sustainable, is needed for all sorts of purposes. Nyamplung has been identified as one of the main prospects for bioenergy because its seeds can be processed into biofuel in the form of biodiesel, which can be used for power generators or vehicle fuel for transportations.
Nyamplung bears fruit throughout the year and has a potential fruit production of 20 tons per hectare per year. From 2 to 2.5 kg of seeds from 12 stands of nyamplung trees can produce 1 liter of nyamplung oil or crude calophyllum oil, which is shortened to CCO with a yield of between 37 to 38%. CCO processing into nyamplung biodiesel through processes of degumming, esterification, transesterification, washing, and drying. The result of the analysis of the physicochemical properties of the nyamplung biodiesel that were produced have fulfilled 18 biodiesel criteria as biodiesel quality requirements. In addition to biofuels, waste can be used as charcoal briquettes, liquid smoke, animal feed, and resin as raw material for medicines and cosmetics. The challenge from this very high opportunity is quite large because it requires integrative research from upstream to downstream. From the upstream, intensive silviculture action is necessary as a silviculture technique that combines the three main elements of silviculture, namely glorified target species, environmental manipulation, and integrated pest control. To produce sustainable plantation, superior seeds, cultivation techniques, and proper pest control techniques are needed. By using prominent source through provenance seed stands and appropriate silvicultural methods, the plants have borne fruit at the age of 3 years and produced biofuel yield or CCO of 61.92 to 64.79%, compared the origin of only 50 to 50.12%. Meanwhile, at the downstream level, it increases the efficiency in the processing of the oil to the design of the industry based on the calophyllum inophyllum plantation.
Bioenergy. Bioenergy describes all energy derived from biomass. The main sources of biomass are crops, natural forests, and tree plantations. As we could see in this picture, from the forest we have sludge that will go through a combustion process to be converted into electricity, and it will be stored in power plants. Also, we can convert biomass to various forms of biofuel to use it as a source of bioenergy. So, basically, energy forest is a forest that focuses on producing bioenergy, which aims to develop alternative renewable energy sources. The development of energy forests is using different silvicultural techniques according to its purpose because this type of forest can utilize the vegetative or degenerative part with different products. Energy forest in Indonesia. Indonesia's Ministry of Environment and Forestry continues to encourage the use of alternative energy to achieve energy sustainability. One of the ways to achieve it is to develop plantation forests. Plantation forest is not only a source of sustainable wood industry materials, but also as energy-producing forest that has vegetable oil-producing type, such as Nyamplung and Bintaro, and biomass-producing type, such as Kaliandra. Currently, the Ministry of Environment and Forestry has published management license for industrial plantation forests covering an area of 10.3 million hectares and has prepared 400,000 hectares to be developed into energy forest clusters.
Next topic is intensive silviculture. Silviculture is the art of producing forests, the application of knowledge silviculture forest treatment, control theory, and practice forest development. Silvicultural system can be divided into four, according to its cutting cycle, the number of stand egg class, the stand regeneration method, and harvesting system. Silvicultural technique, according to Minister of Forestry Regulation, in the form of species selection, tree breeding, manipulation environment, planting, and maintenance. Silvicultural treatment that provide large input or energy called intensive silviculture, while silvicultural treatment which provide input energy that is small or simply left to nature is called intensive silviculture. Next, superior seed source. Source of seed are stand inside forest area and outside forest, which are managed to produce quality seed. According to the Minister of Forestry Regulation, the stages that must be passed to produce the seed source are identified seed stand, seed production area, proven seed stand, seedling garden, clone seed garden, and pruning garden. Superior seed sources are developed through a breeding program, so that sources are established through a planting based on the result of selection or breeding tests.
Now, we will talk about the prospect nyamplung as a vegetable fuel. First, biofuel potential in Java. The yield of nyamplung biofuel is produced by extracting the nyamplung seeds into the biofuel. There are two extracting tools. First is vertical hot presses and the second is screw presses. There are also two quality levels of yield. CCO as a short of crude calopulum oil and RCCO as a short of refined crude calopulum oil. Based in the reference paper, CCO has a high physicochemical properties like high intensity, viscosity, fat content, and acid number values. So because of that, we need to take dejamming processes. Then we got our CEO, as we will see at the table in the next slide. As you can see here, this table is the result of CCO and RCCO biofuel using a vertical hot presses in Java. That we knew that the highest biofuel yield towards dry weight seeds is almost 42% CCO and 41% RCCO. This is higher than in other seeds forest crude oil at the same tools. Also, as you can see at the table below, highest yield come from Yogyakarta and the lowest result from Padekla. There was a difference. The result was different because it was affected by higher genetic diversity with heritability values 0.3. This value is high. Also, that is because Yogyakarta has suitable environmental conditions, an optimal stand density with 535 trees per hectare, and they were planted in plantation forests with a more regular spacing and low precipitation less than 2000 millimeters per year. After we knew nyamplung biofuel potential in the 6 sites in Java, now we will see biofuel potential from Zabon Island in Indonesia using vertical hot presses and screw presses extracting tools. And as you can see at these tables, with the screw press extracting tools can produce CCO yield 10% higher, which was in the range of 50 until 58%, while a vertical hot presses range from 40 until 45%. This is also higher than another forestry brand crude oil. And high variation of yield at this table indicating a strong interaction between genetic factor and environmental factor nyamplung biofuel productivity. At this following table, we will see the analyzed result of physical chemical properties of nyamplung biodiesel with SNI standard. Then, almost all of the parameters of these properties fill up and satisfy the SNI standard requirements.
Next, I'm going to explain about genetic variations of nyamplung with DNA analysis. From DNA analysis, there are two clusters of nyamplung population in Java. First cluster consists of population from Alas Purwo and Cilacap. Second cluster consists of population from Purworejo. This analysis is important for making breeding strategy with supply system for nyamplung. For example, if we want to use single population system, the individual from the infusion population can be taken from the population from the same cluster. And next I'm gonna explain about potential utilization of nyamplung biofuel industrial waste. Nyamplung biofuel industrial waste can be utilized so it can minimize the problem from industrial waste. Solid waste from nyamplung, such as fruit shell, can potentially be used to create charcoal and charcoal briquette. Liquid waste from nyamplung, such as resin, can potentially be used to create medicine and cosmetics.
Biofuel potential from nyamplung seed stand. Seed sources are built through two stages, population level and individual level. Acceleration to produce superreal seeds is carried out through the biotechnological approach. In the first stage, a 5 hectares provenance seed stand plot (TBP) was built using material from the sampling stands from Gunung Kidul, which has the highest biofuel yield potential in Java. 3 years old, tree height at the Nyampung plot 7.2 meters with an average of 5.1 meters. Diameter is 7.6 centimeters with an average of 5.5 centimeters. Fruiting trees reach 54.95%. 1.5 years old begins to bear fruit. Peak of fruiting seasons from August until October. Yield of biofuel CCO from fruit that is 3 years old is 61.92 until 64.79% and 11 until 14% increase. Nyamplung trees as one breakers, flowers and bear fruits at 7 years old compared to TPB Wonogiri. This is much slower. Indicates high genetic potential and that application of proper silviculture techniques optimizes plant growth. Potential utilization of industrial waste or biofuel sourced from nyamplung. Waste, solid and liquid that are properly treated and using appropriate tech has a high economic value and support the zero waste movement as well. For solid waste, fruit cells is charcoal liquids and liquid smoke. Second solid waste is oil cake is 40 until 60% of pressed dry beans. From nyamplung, oil cake contains a crude protein of 21.67 until 23.59% animal feed. First liquid waste, resin, comes from deguming process from contains coumarin content which has the potential as a raw material from pharmaceuticals and cosmetics. Second liquid waste, glycerol, is esterification process is raw material from making soap if mixed with other ingredients such as inorganic alkaline and fragrance.
In conclusion, these are the main points. Starting with number 1, renewable energy in the course of energy mix through the use of renewable energy for various necessities is Indonesians believe in realizing a balanced national energy in order to increase economic growth, improve people's welfare as well as environmental conditions. Number 2, government support in the development of energy plantation forests is very large, and KLHK continues to encourage the existence of alternative energy to achieve energy security so that it might be realized immediately. Number 3, Calophyllum inupillum as one of the priority forest plant species non-timber forest product has a high prospect as raw material for biofuels that meets SNE standards. Number 4, with the application of intensive silviculture and using selected populations can increase the potential yield of nyamplung biofuel to reach 64% or an increase of 14% of the original population. And number 5, solid waste and liquid waste from the nyamplung industry can increase added value or income for the industry and for the community by using simple processes and tools. Utilization of industrial waste can product in the form of charcoal, charcoal briquette, liquid smoke, animal feed, raw materials for medicine and cosmetics.